Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video, I want to talk about every single dropshipper e-commerce owner nightmare that actually happened to me very recently. I want to share my experience on how my Shopify store that generated over 500k in sales got shut down overnight, lost all my customer data, couldn't fulfill past orders and all that kind of stuff. And also end it on a positive tone, the lessons that I learned and what I'm gonna do from here, so you don't hopefully don't end up in a situation like mine. If you're new to my YouTube channel, my name is Gary Lim and I'm a 21 years old e-commerce entrepreneur. In fact, I just turned 21 years old like 2 days ago on 30th September. So you can just wish me happy birthday in the comment section below. I'll be really happy. And that's who I am, and let's get right into the video, okay? So this is what happened. I have two different PayPal accounts that I used to collect payments on my Shopify site. So one of the PayPal account that I was collecting payment in the past, the Shopify site associated with the PayPal account got taken down because my Shopify dispute rate was really high. So I believe Shopify actually kind of blacklisted the PayPal account. In the past, I'll be very frank, like I think 1 or 2 years ago, I wasn't doing the best business. I was working with a really terrible terrible Chinese sourcing agent. He was fulfilling my products on average like 1 or 2 months. It was really horrible working with him, but eventually we learned our lesson and we evolved. And so I believe the PayPal account kind of got blacklisted by Shopify in some way. And one day, in fact, around I think 10 years ago, I was on my Shopify site, and on the same day that my Shopify site got shut down, PayPal also sent me an email. Okay, so this is before my Shopify site actually got taken down. PayPal sent me an email telling me that, hey Gary, your PayPal account just got limited. You gotta send me this info, and that is very normal. That's very expected because I was scaling my store in the month of September. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna send them an email, and in the meantime, I'm gonna use a different PayPal account to collect payment because in that account I was collecting payment, but I wasn't able to withdraw it. So I didn't feel that comfortable, stocking up so much cash in my PayPal account. So I went to my Shopify dashboard happy like, okay, you know what, PayPal limited me. I'm just gonna send them the info they need and get back access to my PayPal account, and in the meantime I'm gonna use a different PayPal account to collect the payments. So I switch out the payment gateway, happily deactivated my PayPal account, log into my second PayPal account, and then guess what? Boom! Instantly, literally within seconds, The next thing I click, it says, oh, your store is not available. Please contact support if you're admin. And I went to my main website, my store name, which I'm not gonna reveal. And they say the same thing. This website is not available, blah, 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 blah. So I was shocked. I was like, what the hell? What just happened? This is my website and I never done anything wrong. I merely just changed my PayPal account and that shit happened. So I went to contact their support, and at the point of time, I kind of knew like, holy shit, something's fucked. I think I lost my website. I think I lost my business. I went to contact the support without any expectations. I also went to the extent of contacting the risk management team on Shopify on their LinkedIn, and I just went to direct message them, asking for help, pleading for help, really like begging them to reply to me, because the support request that I got was really terrible. They just said that, sorry, Gary, we can't do any business with you anymore because of your business model, which is complete bullshit. And then I tried to ask them to actually send me access to my admin dashboard so I can at least fulfill the past 200 orders, but they said no. So I was like, okay, you know what, screw Shopify, I'm not gonna use Shopify. And I went on to actually rebuild my website on BigCommerce, and moving on from now, I'm not gonna be using Shopify for my e-commerce business anymore. So in this moment in time, I'm kind of like thinking screw Shopify. But although it has been a really great platform and it really served me during my first couple years of doing e-commerce, but just right now where I'm currently at, I don't really recommend Shopify anymore. But anyway, having said all of that, I also want to mention a little bit about my business, why I got banned, why I think I got banned at least, okay? So for me, for the website, it was actually not a dropshipping store. When we started out, it was a dropshipping store, but we really moved quickly into holding inventory. I was buying products and I was shipping out from our warehouse in China. But I would say that the business wasn't perfect as well, because during the month of April all the way to July, because of the COVID-19 situation, we had a lot of shipping delays, which I believe is normal for every single business running. But I still try my best to be authentic with my customers, to let them know like, hey, we are facing this issue right now, your product is gonna take a little bit longer than expected, and I send them emails and that kind of stuff. So I basically do my duties. And I think the reason why this Shopify account got shut down was because in the past, when I was doing drop shipping with really bad delivery times, PayPal blacklisted that PayPal account that was associated with that. So when I switched over to that PayPal account, in some literally within seconds, my website just was shut down. So it wasn't because I was scamming my customers, or I was whatever any possible reason they could use against me. It was nothing of that. It was just because I used that PayPal account. So I actually did I test it? I think I did. And yeah, so that is what happened to me basically. And right now, I want to talk about the lessons that I learned, because this is the important part. This is where I want to educate you, so that this video doesn't really end on a depressing note, because this is honestly a very sad thing. It has been so upsetting for me, losing my customer data, couldn't even fulfill my orders, and I've been so attached to Shopify. But through this audio, coming out of it, I actually learned some crucial lessons that I believe you as a viewer watching this, it's gonna be extremely valuable for you, okay? So the first thing that I learned, like a very, really huge thing, is although I was already kind of like doing this, but I think you should also know this, okay? So once you actually start making money, whether you first started out drop shipping and you have developed a little bit of cash flow, you wanna move quickly into actually owning your products, and basically just having a better control of the experience that your customers are gonna have. Because the truth is, if you're gonna be drop shipping, you have very little control of, firstly, the product quality, and secondly, the shipping times, which is probably like 50 to 80% of your customer experience. So if you screw this up, if you can't get your product quality right and you can't get your shipping times right, then you're gonna have a very hard time with your payment gateways, PayPal, Stripe, even Shopify itself. They're gonna notice that, especially if you're gonna have very high dispute rates, and they are not gonna want to work with you. And when that happens, it's really sad. Hopefully they don't just take down the entire website like they did for me, but they might give you a warning, especially if we are working with Stripe or PayPal. They might let you know that your dispute rate is above a certain baseline. For PayPal, for Stripe is 1%, for PayPal I'm not too sure. You don't want to go over that baseline, okay? And how do you actually not go over the baseline? You do that by creating a better experience for your customer, by actually caring about them. And this has been huge, man. This has been the biggest shift for me in business this year. Really going from, okay, look, I just want to make money, to actually giving a demo about my business and how I want my customers to feel. This is something that you should really take in consideration as well, because I know for a fact that most people don't really care about their customers unless they're really empathetic human beings, which I hope I hope if you're watching this, you are. But even if you're not, you don't care, you just want to make money, this is something that you should really consider. Because I kind of feel like Shopify itself, they are really they are really being very strict, becoming more strict on their platforms. They don't really want to work with shitty drop shippers. They don't really want to work with people who has like kind of like a bad rap in general. And I don't know if they work together with Facebook or PayPal to say like, hey, this guy is just doing bad stuff. I don't really know about that, but I know that if you have sort of like a bad rep, if they if you use the same store, if you use your same address to set up different stores, and one of those stores got taken down because of like a DMCA copyright, or because you were drop shipping, your customers reported to Shopify and Shopify took down your website for that reason. It could be any reasons why they take you down. But if you have a bad rep in general, and Shopify recognize your IP address, they recognize your billing address, they recognize your payment gateway that you use, they might catch up on you and actually even take down your new store that is doing well, that is actually following the rules. So this is something that you really want to consider. You really want to start doing things the right way, okay? So that's the first thing. Secondly, you want to stop being so reliant on just one platform itself. This is something that really started to actually seep into my consciousness. If you are so heavily reliant on just using Shopify to run your business, what if one day Shopify just goes down, their business fail, or their business collapse, or they ban you? Just like probably the most possible, probably the highest chance of happening is them banning you out of the previous scenarios that I mentioned. They probably won't go anytime soon. But if they ban you, all your customer data, all your website, and literally everything is gonna be taken away from you. So what do you wanna do? You wanna be prepared for situations like this. You wanna be flexible. You wanna be ready to build up a website whenever things like this happen, like a different website. And most importantly, you want to own your customers and not let the platform own the customers for you. Okay, so I'm gonna repeat this again because this is so important. You want to own your customers and you don't want to let the platform that you are selling on own the customers for you. Okay, this is really huge. Okay, because when you let a platform like Shopify own your customers and without Shopify you don't have access to those customers, if they ban you, they cannot take those customers away from you, and I don't know what they're gonna do with the data, but you're not gonna have access to the data. And that is so important because for one, that's how you actually, if you are doing email marketing, that's how you actually connect with them, and that's how you actually build up a relationship with them, send them emails, campaigns, whatsoever, get them to come back to buy from your website. That's how you actually keep in touch with your customers. So it's so important. And where was I? You really just wanna save your data separately. You wanna ideally export the data on a regular basis, so you're actually owning your customers, okay, and not letting the platform keep your customers for you. Okay, so these are the lessons that I learned. Okay, number one, doing things the right way. Okay, having better control of the products that you're selling, the delivery times as well. Secondly, not being too overly reliant on the platform. Be willing to change, be flexible, be willing to look into different platform and realize that things like this can happen to anyone. I thought things were going well for me. I thought that I was running a good business, and then it just got taken on. Oh well. And lastly, you wanna own your customers and not let the platform own the customers for you, which means you wanna actually export your customer data on a regular basis, so that when things like this happen, you can still fulfill your past orders. You can still contact your customers and let them know, hey, you know what, our website got shut down, so if you notice that my website is not up anymore, don't panic, it's okay, because we're rebuilding it right now. And these are the ways in which you can actually deal with this kind of situation in case it ever happened to you, but I hope it doesn't. And I hope you actually learned something from this video, and I'm just gonna leave it over here. If you like this video, I would really appreciate if you could hit the like button as well, and I would also appreciate if you could leave a comment down on what you thought about this video, or just wish me a happy birthday. That would be really nice if you could just wish me a happy birthday, And lastly, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you enjoyed this video, just me ranting and also sharing some useful information that I think you may actually benefit if you're into e-commerce, right? So subscribe as well if you like this kind of video, and turn on the notification bell if you want to actually be updated whenever I make a video like this. And hopefully it's gonna be valuable for you. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.